Hi, I'm Mark Birch, Global Startup Advocate at AWS. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Jeremy Leach. I'm founder and executive director of Inclusivity Solutions.
What is Inclusivity Solutions? Give us the one-sentence pitch.
We're an embedded insurance Insurtech operating in emerging markets.
I love to understand a little bit more about what makes an entrepreneur tick. So could you share a little bit about your background before the startup and the idea?
Yeah, no, good question. It's a longer story, but I'm originally an accountant, focused on the high net worth kind of sector and the offshore industry based in Jersey, old Jersey, not New Jersey. And then basically after 7 odd years, decided to refocus around some of the bigger challenges in emerging markets. So I went back to school, did a Master's in International Development, ended up joining a think tank where I was responsible for a full range of products from payments, credit, kind of savings. This is in the early 2000s when all the hype from GSMA around mobile money was in its kind of biggest kind of hype kind of phase at the moment. But I saw insurance was the furthest from the tipping point. It's the one that had the least amount of scale, and of course maybe stupidly decided that's clearly where I want to kind of focus. So basically for a winding journey, ended up founding Inclusivity Solutions to try and say, how do you address the lack of access to insurance in emerging markets where penetration is between 2 to 5% of the adult population, which is incredibly low, with very low trust because it's been so badly kind of delivered. So essentially inclusivity is to say around, how do we address that access, leverage kind of technology to engage with alternative distribution models to really rapidly transform access to insurance in emerging markets.
Fascinating. I love this idea of making insurance more inclusive. So how do customers experience it? Like, who is the customer in this case?
Well, I have to say, I would love to go direct to consumer personally. I think we'd be so agile, so quick, really good value proposition, but it's really tough. It requires huge budget to go direct to consumer. So our clients are basically the big distribution partners and insurers in the market. So we're a B2B Insurtech. So we work with some of the biggest brands on the continent, from MTN to Orange to Airtel to FNB to Equity Bank, which is phenomenal, and MFS Africa as well, kind of big platform, as well as the insurers, Prudentials, kind of Hollards of the world. So we work with those kind of partners to really design custom-built products that are designed specifically for the emerging market. We leverage their kind of brand, their capabilities, their payment capabilities to offer a range of products, and clients can get insurance whichever way they like, whether it's when they buy airtime, buy data, when they're making a money transfer. Or we have a range of loyalty products which use gamification to basically reward customers if they're behaving in a way that makes sense around increased transactions of Orange mobile money, or whether it's around increased money transfers as well.
So how far have you grown today, and what's in store for the future?
So we're now in 6 countries in Africa. Should be adding 3 more by the end of the year. We expect to kind of add another kind of 5 in the next kind of couple of years in Africa, and also opening up kind of Asia. Currently a team of 19 from, I think it's 11 nationalities, which I'm particularly proud of. I think it's from representing 9 African nationalities. So we're looking to continue to expand countries. We've already got our open API, so partners can kind of sign up their own insurance kind of products and platforms with very limited effort. So we're continuing to add to that stack and add to the kind of products, and continue to add value on our side, from data analytics to kind of product development and pricing and such like.
I love how you're making it more accessible to partners and making, therefore, insurance more inclusive. You've been on this journey for a while. Can you share maybe some lessons learned, things that maybe in your experience you would have done better earlier on in your startup journey?
So I think what we've done, we've built a phenomenal kind of platform from clients' kind of feedback and kind of operations, a back office. I think what we were too rigid, I think, was around distribution. So we were built for scale. And so we're probably too focused around looking for those scaled partners, where I think in the early days we should have been more kind of flexible, look for a range of smaller kind of partners as well to learn with. And that's something which I think we should have done more of, and being a bit more kind of flexible in terms of those kind of offerings in the early days. Because again, our perennial challenges, we're built for scale, so you look for scaled partners, and probably didn't spend enough time playing with some of the smaller players to learn the lessons, which basically also support the scale model. That was probably our biggest challenge, and a bit more, would have loved to do a bit more experimentation in hindsight.
I'm always curious, like, how do you collect customer feedback, and how do you incorporate that feedback into improving the products?
So we've invested heavily in human-centered design. So we've probably done HCD type research across 12 countries kind of so far, both in the early days to help kind of product design, but also kind of afterwards to get kind of client feedback around that side. We also actively seek input from our clients, whether around kind of surveys, kind of through SMS, through basically additional kind of quantitative surveys as well. So it's one of our key things is really understanding the needs of the customer and ensuring those products are really fit for purpose. If you'll excuse one anecdote, is from my consulting days, well, funeral insurance is a big product in South Africa and Ghana. But two big mobile operators took the same model to Tanzania, and clients were ringing up saying, why are you cursing us? Why are you wishing us dead? Clearly that's not good for the brand. So you can't just take one product from one market and think it will magically take off in another. So we spend a lot of our time really ensuring that the products really are designed for the customers.
That's such an important lesson. Listen to your customers, understand your markets, and hopefully avoid those types of mistakes. Thank you so much for sharing. This has been great.
Thank you. It's been great to be here.